My name is Karen, and I'm an addict. Hi, Karen. How you doing? I'd like to open this meeting with a moment of silence, followed by the Serenity Prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change, and the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. All right, to read who is an addict, we have Annie.
Hi, my name is Annie. Is this on? Oh. Hi, my name is Annie, and I'm definitely an addict. Hi. Most of us do not have to think twice about this question. We know. Our whole life and thinking was centered in drugs in one form or another, the getting and using and finding ways and means to get more. We live to use and use to live. Very simply, an addict is a man or woman whose life is controlled by drugs. We are people in the grip of a continuing and progressive illness whose ends are always the same: jails, institutions, and death.
And to read what is the NA program, we have Christy. Oh, Linda, sorry. Wrong one.
That's okay. Hi, family. My name is Linda, and I'm a recovering drug addict and alcoholic. NA is a non-profit fellowship or society of men and women for whom drugs have become a major problem. We are recovering addicts who meet regularly to help each other stay clean. This is a program of complete abstinence from all drugs. There is only one requirement for membership: the desire to stop using. We suggest that you keep an open mind and give yourself a break. Our program is a set of principles written so simply that we can follow them in our daily lives. The most important thing about them is that they work. There are no strings attached to NA. We are not affiliated with any other organizations. We have no initiation fees or dues, no pledges to sign, no promises to make to anyone. We are not connected with any political, religious, or law enforcement groups and are under no surveillance at any time. Anyone may join us regardless of age, race, sexual identity, creed, religion, or lack of religion. We are not interested in what or how much you used or who your connections were, what you have done in the past, how much or how little you have, but only in what you want to do about your problem and how we can help. The newcomer is the most important person at any meeting because we can only keep what we have by giving it away. We have learned from our group experience that those who keep coming to our meetings regularly stay clean.
And to read how it works with Christy.
Hi everyone, I'm Christy and I'm an addict. Hi. How it works. If you want what we have to offer and are willing to make the effort to get it, then you're willing to take certain steps. These are the principles that made our recovery possible. 1, we admitted that we were powerless over our addiction and that our lives had become unmanageable. 2, we came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. 3, we made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood Him. 4, we made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. 5, we admitted to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our wrongs. 6, we were entirely ready to have God remove all these defects of character. 7, we humbly asked Him to remove our shortcomings. 8, we made a list of all persons we had harmed and became willing to make amends to them all. 9, we made direct amends to such people wherever possible, except when to do so would injure them or others. 10, we continued to take personal inventory, and when we were wrong, promptly admitted it. 11, we sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understood Him, praying only for knowledge of His will for us and the power to carry that out. 12, having had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps, we tried to carry this message to addicts and to practice these principles in all our affairs. This sounds like a big order, and we can't do it all at once. We didn't become addicts in one day, so remember, easy does it. There is one thing more than anything else that will defeat us in our recovery, and this is an attitude of indifference or intolerance towards spiritual principles. 3 of these that are indispensable are honesty, open-mindedness, and willingness. With these, we are well on our way. We feel that our approach to the disease of addiction is completely realistic, for the therapeutic value of one addict helping another is without parallel. We feel that our way is practical, for one addict can best understand and help another addict. We believe that the sooner we face our problems within our society in everyday living, just that much faster do we become acceptable, responsible, and productive members of that society. The only way to keep from returning to active addiction is not to take the first drug. If you are like us, you know that one is too many and 1,000 is never enough. We put great emphasis on this, for we know that when we use drugs in any form or substitute one for another, we release our addiction all over again. Thinking of alcohol as different from other drugs has caused a great many addicts to relapse. Before we came to NA, many of us viewed alcohol separately, but we cannot afford to be confused about this. Alcohol is a drug. We are people with a disease of addiction who must abstain from all drugs in order to recover. Thank you.
And to read the 12 traditions, we have Cheryl.
Hi, my name is Cheryl and I'm an addict. The 12 traditions of NA. We keep what we have only with vigilance, just as freedom for the individual comes from the 12 steps, so freedom for the group springs from our traditions. As long as the ties that bind us together are stronger than those that would tear us apart, all will be well. 1. Our common welfare should come first. Personal recovery depends on NA unity. 2. For our group purpose, there is but one ultimate authority, a loving God as he may express himself in our group conscience. Our leaders are but trusted servants. They do not govern. 3. The only requirement for membership is the desire to stop using. 4. Each group should be autonomous except in matters affecting other groups or NA as a whole. 5. Each group has but one primary purpose, to carry the message to the addict who still suffers. 6. An NA group ought never endorse, finance, or lend the NA name to any related facility or outside enterprise, lest problems of money, property, or prestige divert us from our primary purpose. 7. Every NA group ought to be fully self-supporting, declining outside contributions. 8. Narcotics Anonymous should remain forever non-professional, but our service centers may employ special workers. 9. NA as such ought never to be organized, but we may create service boards or committees directly responsible to those they serve. 10. Narcotics Anonymous has no opinion on outside issues, hence the NA name ought never be drawn into public controversy. 11. Our public relations policy is based on attraction rather than promotion. We need always maintain personal anonymity at the level of press, radio, and films. 12. Anonymity is the spiritual foundations of all our traditions, ever reminding us to place principles before personalities.
Okay, if there is anyone here from the press, let us remind you of our 11th tradition. This is an anonymous program. Please refrain from taking pictures or using names. And also, these meetings are being taped. If you would prefer not to be taped when you share, and the last 20 minutes of the meeting, if all the people who don't want to be taped just line up on the right, you can come up and speak and you won't be taped. I'm going to introduce our speaker in a second, but before I do, I'd just like to say, it's beyond my wildest dreams to be able to come up here and chair a meeting of all women. When I look out and see you, I have the most incredible support group in this fellowship, and it's the best support I get is from the women in these rooms. And I know a lot of people feel that they have a hard time with the women in the rooms when they first come in, and that there aren't too many common bonds. But I can think of at least 3 things that all of us have in common, and it's a great way to start out. And that's that, number 1, we're all addicts. Number 2, we're all women. And that's a bond that's incredible, because only we can understand each other. And we all share a higher power together. And it's up to us, to use each other in these rooms and to reach out to one another. We're all we've got, And with that, we have a great speaker from Brooklyn, and her name is Iris.
Hi, my name is Iris and I'm an addict.
Hi, Iris.
Hi, girls. Thank God I'm clean today, because I was going to go out and get high. I am so scared, you don't know. I've never seen so many beautiful women in my life. Wow.
I can't believe that we're all addicts, you know, because this family that I have today, this program is so integrated, you know, the women are so beautiful, so giving, so caring, and I for one crave that, you know, I craved that all my life, and I didn't know that's what I was looking for, attention, you know, and a place to belong, and here I am. I know that when they chose me, someone came up to me and says, you're speaking at the convention, and I wasn't asked, I was told. And I said, oh wow, this is like, you know, I was overwhelmed and all that. Then they told me that they picked my name from a hat. And that was okay too, because my higher power, you know, allowed my name to be chosen. And without my higher power, I wouldn't be anywhere near this place. I want to start my qualification from today and work my way back, so you can see where I was and how it fits to where I am today. I'm very nervous. I'm in Stevensville, you know. Where the hell, with my wildest dream, would I think that I would be out here with a bunch of recovering addicts? You know, people that take a bath. You know, the simplest things, because, you know, we're so complicated. We don't know how to do the smallest little thing. We match our socks with our, you know, shirts, and we put on our makeup and we do our hair. You know, we couldn't do that before. You know, all we wanted to know is what the cop man looked like. You know, what was the color of the bag we were going to cop, and what size needle we were going to use. You know, and today we don't think about that. You know, or we might think about it, but that's okay. It's okay to think about it. You know, I think about it all the time. I'm far from cured. I go to school. I'm in college. I left high school 18 years ago. And this is my first time doing something that I'm doing for Iris. This is for Iris. It's not for my mother, for my family. It's not for the court or for the judge. It's for Iris. Because I'm getting the things I need, and for me to get the things that I want, I have to work at it. I have to feed my mind. You see, I'm feeding my soul. You know, and I work out for my body, so I got to feed my mind. And I go to school for that. And I might not get an A or a B, but I'm doing the best that I can do, and that's okay for me today. And I'm in a 2-year college, and if it'll take me 3 years, that's also okay, as long as I complete it for me. And I'm not doing it alone. My higher power guides me. My higher power is God. And for me, that's very important for me to have a higher power, because I didn't come into this program by myself. I was carried. Those footprints in the sands, those prints were mine. They were my high power. I have a excellent relationship with my mother. I think my mother is so cute. You know, she prayed for me. She used to go to mass and pray, and I was like, my mother didn't know anything what was happening, but she did. Mothers know everything. You know, she knew. She could look into my eyes and know that there wasn't any light in there. She can see the withdrawal. You know, but I was so full of denial that I just thought that she didn't know. I'm sparing her of her pain. If I would have told her, I would have been saved earlier. But I just had to wait and be where I got to be right now for somebody in here. I have a relationship with my daughter. I have an 18-year-old daughter, and I love her to death. You know, and I had to learn how to separate and set her free, because she's no longer a little girl. She's a woman herself. And as far as I know, she's not an addict, but she has the attitudes, you know, and I 12-step her all the time. I give away whatever I get in these rooms. I give it to her. She calls me up and she tells me Easy does it, you know, and she's so cute too. You know, sometimes I want to kill her. I share about that. I want to yoke my kid, you know, and my last 2 years in recovery, I mean, I went to so many changes with my daughter, you know, but with the people in this fellowship, with the women that share the same problems, and the men, you know, I was pulled through. I was pulled through. Because, you know, we don't want to let go of our kids, man. We always want to keep them next to the breast. You know, we want to protect them of the harm. We want to put them in this padded room, you know, and nobody, the boogeyman can't get you because mommy's here, but we can't do that. We have to allow them to make mistakes. We have to let them live their lives, not ours. So I'm learning how to do that with the steps and the people of the fellowship. And then, I learned how to have a relationship with my daughter. I have a brother who's in the fellowship, in the other fellowship for like 7 years. He helped me quite a bit. You know, he's always there for me. I could speak about my father today, who passed away in 81, and I didn't mourn him until 85. I learned how to speak about him. I learned how to speak of him and not get a lump in my throat. Because all my life, I wanted my daddy to hold me. And when I got into recovery, I was using the men so they could be my daddy so I could hold them. And what I wanted with my father, I tried to get with the men. You know, I want you here now. You know, give me attention. Give me love. And I had to do it all at once because I thought he was going to leave me like my daddy left me. It took me a long time to realize that, but I did realize it. You know, your awareness gets so sharp sometimes, it gets very painful to hear the truth. And we don't want to hear, I don't want to hear the truth today, you know. But I know that no matter what happens, whether I feel good or bad, that I don't have to go out behind this. You know, there are millions and millions of addicts and regular people, whatever they are, and that they are out there dealing with life in life's term, and they don't have to get high, so I can do it too. You know, I could suffer, I could hurt, I could laugh, I can cry, and eventually I'm going to die. You know, but I don't have to get high anymore, because I want to walk around with dignity. I want to hold my head up. I was in a program. I was in a drug-free program. I didn't want to be there. At first, I went there to save my life. I couldn't get a hold of it. For 6 months, I smoked pot and drank beer, and my liver used to hurt me from the hepatitis that I had. And it took an overdose to get me into these rooms. By then, I couldn't leave that program because I was probated there through the courts because I got busted on a drug sale. I'm grateful for that program because it's a lot of therapy, and it helped me find out about, well, it helped me because I still don't know that much, but I know a lot. You know, I have broken down the wall that I had managed to build all my life. I had this glass bubble around me because I was so scared. I didn't want anybody to look at me in my eyes, because you can see who I was if you look through my eyes. Because for you to look at me in my eyes, I mean, my eyes are the windows to my soul. I mean, you can tell when I'm hurting, when I'm happy. You know, I'm like so open, I'm so easy. I'm just like so easy, and it took me 23 years to build that bubble around me, because I didn't want to let anybody in, nobody. Today the bubble is open on top, you know, I'm letting a lot of people in. It gets a little bit easier. I'm not afraid, I have nothing to hide. I can look at you in your eyes. I have nothing to hide today, because I'm clean. You know, whatever got me here and whatever I did out there, we all did it too. No big thing to me. I have nothing to hide, you know. I want everybody to respect my anonymity, but I still have nothing to hide. I did everything. Heroin, Quaaludes, pills, ups, downs. I went through this insane tripping thing that I was going through, speed, LSD, sunshine. If I could drink it, snort it, rub it on my chest, stick it up my ass or in my ear or whatever it was I had to do with it, I did it if it was going to get me high, NyQuil, anything. Okay, so I was a garbage head. I come from a regular, or I guess you call it a regular Puerto Rican family, you know, mother, father, brother. And, you know, they talk Spanglish, they don't talk English or Spanish, like Spanglish is like our own language. And, I thought I was bilingual. I found out I wasn't. You know, we just have our own language, and you know, you eat rice and beans and all that. And I'm a child of the '50s, and my parents were very strict with me, and I was always living by somebody's rules. You know, I always wanted to command my own life. I always wanted to be, you know, like Janet Jackson, control and shit. You know, and so. I got married when I was 17. You know, I thought I would be in control then, but then I realized that my husband thought he was my father, and here was another person telling me how to live. And I decided then and there that it was going to be one child and one child alone until everything else came, you know, to be, and I started to work, and I graduated from school and all this other stuff. And, you know, the progression, which started when I was 13, just slowly but surely came into view. And when I broke up with my husband, I totally went off the deep end, because everybody told me that I was doing the wrong thing. Everybody means the immediate people. His family and my family, which is my world. My world was family. We're very close in that area. And they said, you have to stay with him because you have a child. And that was my first major decision. No. I left. That was it. I was scared to death, I was battered by my whole family, and I didn't care. And so to show them that I was right, I went out and started doing drugs, because I didn't want to feel inadequate, and I didn't want to feel like what I did was wrong, And here was this painfully shy person going out into the world. I had never been into the world beyond Brooklyn Heights or Park Slope in Brooklyn. Manhattan? What the hell is Manhattan? That's another world. And there I was, There I was in the clubs. There I was in Alphabet City, in the Lower East Side, uptown, downtown, wherever I had to go. There was this nice Puerto Rican girl copping in the weirdest places, I used to go from my office with my little three-piece suit to go and cop, all prim and proper, But there I was. And before you know it, the suits became just pants and blouses, and then jeans and sneakers, and then, then I was the one who was dealing. And then the people were coming to me. And then I had no more job. By then I had no dignity. I felt helpless and hopeless. I thought this was it. Like it says in the big book right in the front, once an addict, always an addict. That was Iris. I used to talk about when I'd be 100 years old, I'd be sitting there with no teeth smoking a joint, And these are, you are who you're with, right? And that's who I was hanging out with. This was the crowd. This was our mentality. It was about copping. It was about getting high. And that's it. I don't know what I know. My higher power said, this is enough, Iris. Wake up, girl. This is it. You're going to hit it really bad. After my dad died, I isolated in my house. I wouldn't even go out to cop. I didn't go to work for a month. I didn't know what was happening. I was getting depressed. I was just going really inside of myself. And I got further and further and further in, where I couldn't really relate to many people. And the only thing that I could do was get high. And then finally I made that step to walk out into the street. And what I did was I lost my job. Everything I had ever worked for went. And I started to deal, and I started to rob people. And, do the little things that we do to get high. My parents, my mother, my daughter, my daughter walked out on me. My daughter walked out on me. It was like, here was this baby, and when I turned around and got off the phone, here was this grown, young lady who just walked out. That was very painful for me to lose my kid. For me to see that she can see what I had become. I didn't think she could see it. It was me. I was the only one that was blind. And she left me. And she wouldn't tell my mother because she felt she would hurt me. But she finally couldn't take it. And I thanked her for that, because I wouldn't be here today. I went and I got help, and my mother helped me. And my brother helped me. And I got clean. When I came to Narcotics Anonymous, I overdosed. And I brought a girlfriend of mine's here because she needed help. What it was is that I needed somebody to hold on to. And I'm here. I don't know where she is, because I never went out again. Last week I had 31 beautiful months that I just have to hold on to forever. I might not make 32, but I know I got 31, because I go one day at a time. This program is in my heart. I live and breathe by it. I have to save my life. I want to live. I want to celebrate life every day. My higher power is always with me. I have been a nervous wreck between this convention and my finals coming up. Last night I thought I was going to pass out. I was so overwhelmed. I did not know I knew so many people in this fellowship. And when I came here, there's people from all over that I know. And there was so much love and so much warmth, everything that I always wanted, that I was just like, it was too much, you know? And I had to go to my room and talk to my higher power and say, help me. Lift this insanity. I don't want to feel this high, you know? Just a little, but not this high. And I came to a meeting, and it was like real perfect, you know? I didn't get clean to be miserable, was the meeting. And it just really, really helped me, and it helped me center myself. I've been trying not to obsess over speaking, you know, because getting taped, I mean, I hate my voice. I sound like real deep, you know? I mean, that's what I was thinking about. You know, we always want to get up here and say the right thing. But I know that I told God, God, speak through me, please. You know, because I don't know what to say. I don't know nothing about nothing. I'm just learning how to walk. I'm just a little babe. You know, those 31 months, the shit, man. 23 years drugging, now that's something. You know, when I could get up here and say I got 23 years, you know, then I could say, hey, look at me, I got 23 years. You know, that's like one day at a time, maybe. You know what I mean? Because today is today, and that's it. You know. Let me tell you about relationships, all right? I was in this other program, and it's like, you know, they tell you not to get into things also, into relationships. Well, I was counting how many relationships I got into that program, and it was like 4 of them. You know, they call them contracts. I was sitting there all the time, I got contract, sex contract, you know. I said, what the hell am I doing? You know, this is so crazy, you know. And what I was doing was, of course, not dealing with Iris, trying not to see what was hurting me, trying not to fix me, because God forbid I might find something out that I didn't like. You know, that's what I was doing. You know, since I came here, yes, I've been trying to lust, and I tell you, I can't lust. I have been trying to lust. I've seen some cute buns and some serious legs, but I'm going to tell you, the minute them buns and legs get in front of me, I look down. You know, don't look at me, you know. You know, leave me alone. You know. You know, and like, I'll talk to my close friends and I say, oh, look at that one, I'm going to give him my key. Yeah, bullshit. Yeah, I'm not going to give him my key. You know, that's a crock of shit. It's not like that today, you know, because I want to know more about this person. I don't know who I am, you know. I want you to know me, and I want to know me too. You know, I'm still trying to grow. I want to talk about when we get clean, about seeing a doctor. You know, for so long we do drugs. And a lot of us, we just take it for granted that we're going to be okay because we stopped doing drugs. Well, we're not going to be okay because all of a sudden everything comes up. You know, liver, kidney, heart, lungs. You know, those little parts that we never think about, you know, that are really important to living. I think it's really important that when you feel something is wrong, don't wait for it to get, you know, drastic. Go to a doctor. Get checked out, you know. And it's not just because of that disease with that little tiny name, you know. It's not about AIDS only. It's about other things, you know. Because when we stop doing drugs and we want to be responsible and we want to live right and we want to live long, you know. Because I didn't get clean so I could die, you know. I got clean so I could live and celebrate every day, you know, so I can feel regardless of what I'm going to feel. And I think that's really important, and a lot of times people don't say that. You know, to go see a doctor. Go see a dentist, too. You know? I know how people's teeth get because I'm there. You know, I'm one big coward about a dentist. I got to sit on my hands, put a straight jacket, and have somebody come with me. You know, that's what it's all about for me to get to a dentist. I like to welcome any newcomers. To me, you're definitely the most important person. Because without you, I couldn't be here today. Because if people stop coming in, I might go out. I might think that everything is okay out there. And everything is not okay. Everything is exactly where I left it. All the faces are different, you know. Flacco is still Flacco and Blackie is still Blackie. You know, the guys are still the same. And the girls, you know, the name's just been changed. And maybe even the location of the hole in the wall. You know, but all abandoned buildings look alike after a while. make as many meetings as you can, talk to as many people as you can. The reason we keep getting high is because we stuff our feelings, you know. And a lot of times the reason we don't talk to other people is because we know what we're going to feel, you know, because sometimes you hear the truth, you know. I know when a newcomer talks to me, you know, I get all my answers, you know, my sponsees. I get everything, man. I get it all. And I want it all, you know, so I listen all the time. I listen to the newcomers especially because it keeps it very, very fresh and very, very green for Iris. I'm really lucky I got my sponsees here with me. I got my sponsor here with me, you know, and I got this family. And this is really beautiful. Thank you for keeping me clean. The meeting is yours.
Thank you, Iris. Thank you, Iris. I'm Susan, and I'm a very grateful recovering addict. And I know how you felt. I did it last night, so I feel a little better today. You know, I was more nervous than you were. I was sitting there. I love you so much, you know, and I'm so glad you're in my life today. You know, growing together is the beauty of this whole thing, you know. It's like, you know, and watching all these women out there, you know, just getting prettier and prettier and prettier and just like feeling prettier, you know, beautiful, you know, just feeling good about ourselves, you know. Growing together, it scares the shit out of me, I'll tell you. It's scary. Sometimes I look around and, you know, we look so good and we feel so good and we want so much out of life. You know, we want it all. And that's what we're doing here, you know. I'm really enjoying this convention, you know. And you knew I wouldn't miss this meeting. I went looking for you when they were looking for you, and I said, I know Iris is going to be here, you know. I don't know, this support system, this support group, you know. I called my sponsor about half an hour ago, you know, because I need to have her with me. You know, I need to keep in touch. I need to keep working it. You know, and if I didn't call her, I know she'd still be there. I know she'd still love me. But I know I got to keep working on it, you know, because, you know, I start to feel better about myself. I start to get better inside. But, you know, that committee gets better, too. You know, I cannot forget about that committee because, you know, when I take a little cat nap, it's like right up there on me, you know, and I need my sponsor and I need my sponsees, you know, and other women. You know, I've been really excited about this convention and the sun, you know. They gave us weather and you know, coming back here is beautiful because it shows an ongoing relationship between Narcotics Anonymous and the outside world. This is only our third New York regional convention, you know, and already they wanted us back, you know, and that really means a lot to me. The woman that owns the hotel, I don't know why she grabs me, but she's been grabbing me. She's grabbed me 2 or 3 times and just told me, you know, you're a nice group of people. You know, we really love you here, you know. You probably met her. I guess a lot of you have met her, huh? Just like wonderful, loving, and and she wants to tell us about it, you know. And, you know, we wanted to come back. We knew that last year. We had such a great time. But the fact that they wanted us back here, you know, my whole life, you know, is like, please, you know, we love you, but please don't come back, you know, please. God, you know, gain a little weight, take a bath, you know, please. I felt so good listening to you, Iris, you know, and I don't know, there's a lot of hope in this room for me. You know, I've been looking forward to this meeting, and not just about hearing Iris, because, you know, whenever I go to a convention, you know, if I sleep all day long, I'll get up for that women's meeting, because, you know, in my early recovery, it was about men for me. And it wasn't even about sex. You know, I was so scared. I didn't know what it was about. I knew that they told me what I wanted to hear. They told me what it was comfortable to hear. And
I know at my first convention, and I haven't been around that long, but at my, from when I first came around, there were not half this many women around. There were not a lot of women. And I know you women that were there before I was, and there were a few very, very special ones that I'm real grateful. They stuck around for me. And it's not about getting a little clean time and going and finding a sponsor with 45 years in another fellowship. It's about staying in Narcotics Anonymous and giving back what I've been given, And it's really a beautiful process to see today women. The other night I was having a hard time. Last night I was having a real hard time. And there was a woman sitting next to me, and she was so excited. She said, she looked at me, and that smile went right through me. It just came right inside. There was no way I could keep it out. And she said, I have 6 months today. And I'll tell you, that look on her face, the glow, it just like permeated me. I was full of her glow, I just was full of her, And, so all my life it was like, yeah, great, okay, you bought a new car, wonderful, wonderful, give me a ride sometime, And like I just felt, her, her joy, And I needed her at that moment. I was hurting. I had to speak in like 2 hours, and I couldn't sleep. I was afraid to sleep. Some people have good sense and go take a nap before they have to speak, And I said, look, I don't drink coffee, and I just had a cup of coffee, and I'm hurting. Could you please help me, And she just took me in her arms, and she hugged me and just told me she loved me, And I believed her. I remember the first day this girl walked into a meeting, and her eyes were like this, like mine, Coke written right across, Coke, What do you people want from me? What are you going to try to do to me here anyway, Just like, where's the Coke? Please, let me out of here. And today, this young lady, woman, part of my support group. So, I was pretty spaced out when I walked in these rooms, and women looked out for me. They looked out, some were a little scared, they stayed a little distant, but they kept their eye on me, and there was love in those eyes. They were probably afraid they were going to catch something if they came too close, or I might bite them or something, You never know when this one's going to go off. Stay a little away, but, keep an eye on her, and they cared, and it's so good to be able to stick around and learn to care myself, and you women have helped me with that, and you keep helping me with that, I was not willing in the beginning, but, today the beauty that I see in you women, there's no taking it away. All the sex in the world cannot touch this. And I love you a lot, and thanks.
Hi, sisters. I'm Norlene. I'm an addict. Hi, everybody. I'm nervous, but I know that I'm growing, because when I first came here, and a lot of the females that know me, I could not raise my hand, and I had a real hard time just saying my name, So I'm real proud of myself, because I know that I'm growing, because I'm up here today, and I want to thank Iris for qualifying, because she touched me, and all of the females in the room today touched me, because I remember when I was active, it was impossible for me to get close to the female. I was petrified. I always got close to the men, whether it was for sex, dope, drugs, companionship. I always got closer to the men. And today, I could stay, sit here, and I could get closer to the females, and it's a beautiful feeling. And I'm real happy to have you in my life, because you're teaching me how to live today sober. And it's an honor, and also, I'm also learning how to have a relationship with my daughter. Because, it was hard, right? Having a sick daughter born with a tumor. And I drug for a long time because it was so painful. But my tears of joy, because today, it's not painful having her that way. And it's because you women have taught me that it's okay, and that, things happen for a reason. and I have such a beautiful daughter, and we've gotten so close. We are the best thing that, she's the best thing that has ever happened to me. And, she goes with me to all the meetings practically, and, I love her dearly. And there was a point in my life where, I used to hide my daughter because of the way she looked. And I don't hide her today anymore. And that's because I come in here and I talk to you women about my child, and you tell me it's okay. And I've learned how to accept, things in my life today, and I would never trade this for no high out there, because this is my high today, and my life is changing drastically, and I'm so happy. I'm really happy, And also, when she said about that, her daughter left her, my son, who's 16, I got clean, and he left me like 3 months ago. He's 16, and I know that I'm powerless too over that, and I just let go, and I pray that he doesn't turn to drugs. He's basically a good boy, and I'm trying to have with him also the relationship that I have with my daughter, and it's it's kind of difficult with him, but I tell you females, and I share that with you, and you help me how to love my boy, and this is the greatest gift that has ever happened to me. I'm nervous, but it's okay because I could not come up here like 2 years ago. I could not share at a meeting. I was petrified. I could not raise my hand, and all I did was sit and cry and cry and cry. And today, I'm less afraid, and I do call up the females, and I get closer to them, and I'm just real happy to be here. And this is such a beautiful convention. Thank you all, and I love you.
God. Hi, I'm an addict. My name is Lisa. Hi, Lisa. Hi. Thank God. Like, I raised my hand because I'm at a meeting, but I forget where I am. It's flipped me out. This is my first convention, and I thought, before this, I heard a lot of people sharing about coming up here and being scared, and not even leaving their own town, and how they're going to see, face all these thousands of people. And I said, well, I'm an outgoing, person, and I can do this, and there's no problem. I'm okay. This is one thing that I'm good at, And I came here, and I flipped out, and I wanted to isolate and just slam all my character defects and everything, outwardly, inwardly. I just wanted to crawl under a rock somewhere, So I went to meetings, and women were smiling at me and saying hi. Women I never saw before, and I feel good, and I've been going through this insecurity, even today it got really bad where I ran into my room, and someone talked to me, and told me this is my time. This is where I'm supposed to be, and it's okay, and I'm okay, and so I finally got out of my room. I went down and I bought this button, says I am lovable and capable, and I figure every time I look in the mirror and see this outside superficial bullshit, I'll look at that and see the inside. I am lovable and I am capable, and learn to accept myself. And it's only through watching the women here and watching them do it, that I can even have hope that I can accept myself. And I'm gonna cry, and thank you.
Hi, my name is Deb, and I'm an addict. And I like to thank God for being in my life right at this particular moment. And I'm not supposed to be here. According to certain people, I had death in my family this week. And but I know today I'm in the right place, and this is where I need to be. It was a real crazy situation, but the spiritual awakening that I received out of this experience is something that I'll treasure for the rest of my life, you know. And if I've never felt a presence of God in my life and felt the presence carrying me, I felt it in this last week. My father passed away. I got a sister in the hospital with AIDS. And come to find out yesterday, my brother is the cause of my father's death. And I'm here. You know, I'm just praying for a lot of acceptance right now, you know. And I'm praying for God to help me not to ask why, because they told me don't analyze. You know, not to be critical and not to try to judge anything. You know, a year ago, around this time, when I came to the convention last year, you know, I was sitting over there, I was looking at Arlene. And I've had a very bad relationship with my father over the years and growing up. And this is the place I got honest about that last year, you know. Because there was a time that I hated that man so much from the pain and the suffering that he had caused me and the things that he had done to me, that I had created a story that this man was dead. And I started believing that story. And it was this place, this convention, this time, last year, that I got honest about that. And as a result of me getting honest, we was able to build some kind of small rapport and relationship. God blessed me to be with him a few hours before he died. And he made amends to me. I accepted his amends. And something that, you know, I went on a destructive path for like, I don't know how many years, always trying to get my father to pay attention to me and love me, you know. And as a result of taking a fourth step and a fifth step on that, today I can see where my people-pleasing started, where my negative attention started. But in that conversation, the last thing he told me, he said, "Dad, in spite of what happened, I love you. And I've always loved you. But I just didn't know how to show you that love and give you that love." And he told me, "You know, Dad, one is going to make it and the rest are not. And the one that makes it is the one that's the strongest." And he said, "Dad, when you go upstairs tonight, look in that mirror, and the mirror's going to tell you who that person's going to be." And you know, I got out the car. When I got in the gate, I said, "Damn, I should run back and tell my father I love him. And thank you." And I said, "Nah, I'll see him tomorrow." And the next time I heard anything about my father, I walked into a meeting and people was telling me, "Dad, I'm sorry to hear about the death in your family." And I was looking at these people like they was out their fucking mind. And the next day I had a lot of resentment on how it was dropped on me. But you know what? They say there's no coincidences. God does and gives what you need. Picture me finding that out being by myself. He let me find that out, and I'm grateful for that. In the place that I needed to be, around the people I needed to be with. I don't really know how I feel. I'm kind of numb. And like I said, I'm praying for acceptance. I just pray to God that he forgives my father for his sins and accepts him in his life. You know, I like to say to anybody that's new, anybody that's been here for a while or is just coming back, no matter what happens, you ain't got to give up. And you know what my gratitude today is? That Dad did not have the desire and my mind did not go that way. You know, when I walked through those doors, the first thing I asked people, "You seen my sponsor?" And I walked in here and I saw my sponsor. And I saw all these people in here that could love me and will love me, and I got support from, and I know that. And you know, my mother told me I was being real selfish, and that I did not have the right to just walk away like that. I got a choice today. And I don't have to feed into insanity or be around insanity today. I was also blessed to be the one to identify his body, so it gave me the chance to pay my last personal respects. And the brothers that went with me to identify his body had asked the investigator, could I stand there for a minute? And I took my guilt, and I took my animosity, and I took my fear, and I took my anger, and I took my resentments, and I asked God to give me the strength and the will and the guidance to take that fear and replace it with faith, and take all that other good shit and give me the ability to leave it there. I wasn't able to tell my father I loved him in a physical sense so he could hear it. But he knows I love him. And any amends that I have to make, I guess I'll make through my God. You know, God is good. He's good. Because I don't have to go crazy. I don't have to pick up. I don't have to give up. And you know what? The last thought that I had on my mind before I walked out that room was, you know what? Daddy, I love you, but I don't love you enough to lay next to you. The man's at peace now. God help my brother, that's all I can say. Because the man got to live with that. I have no animosity towards him right now. I have more concern and grief for him. God help him. For anybody that's been around, that's just walking in, you don't have to give up. Nobody told you this was going to be a bed of roses. But they did tell you if you didn't pick up, you won't get high. And if you make a meeting, things was going to get better. Thank God for being in my life and carrying me, and thank y'all for letting me share.
Hi, I'm Di. I'm an addict. Iris, thank you. You were talking about your dad, and a lot of women were, about men and reaching out to men and looking for the dad. I grew up all my life without a father, and I just never really felt the need for one. But for a while in my life, I did have a mother. And when I got clean, she remained active, and she's still active. You really touched home a lot when you said looking for a father, because when I came into these rooms, I wanted the love and support that a mother would get, and turned myself to a lot of the women. And it was so hard for me. So hard for me to let anybody in, to let anybody talk to me, to let anybody really care. And there were a few women for a while that I let into my life, that really know me and to care. And I guess growing up, I was always, as soon as my mother let any love in, she would get high and strike against me. And her disease took over for her. For a while, when I was looking for the mother, the love, the support, and the women gave it to me, I couldn't accept it. And it's still so hard. And all those women that opened up to me and loved me, I would lash back at them, because I didn't know how to accept anything good coming my way. And I hurt a lot of people, and I know that. I'm not up to that step yet, thank God. But you know who you are, and I'll be visiting you when I get there, right? Today, slowly, I'm learning through the women, who I hate because they tell me what I need to hear, not what I want, what I should do, and how to learn to love myself, and how not to need to get laid every other night, you know, how not to need men, how to want them, you know, to change them from a need to a want, and how to find that in here, you know. Last year I came to this convention, and God, was I terrible. I don't know how I got by. I just was a maniac. Everybody's laughing who remembers. Yeah, that was that nut. For the first time in my life, with a bet with somebody who said, I'll bet you can't stay without a relationship until some girl gets 90 days. I said, who are you kidding? Of course I can. And I did it. First it was just to show him. And then it was so scary because I started to see die, you know, the insides. And I clung on to a lot of women. And I haven't let go, you know. Now I do it because I want to. She got her 90 days and I was all excited, you know. Yeah, finally, you know. And I'll never forget the first women's meeting I ever went to in a convention in Boston. There were maybe 25 women there. And the only thing that they told me, or the only thing that I remembered was, listen, kiddo, you know, the 3 M's and you'll be humming along. Meetings, meditation, and masturbation. I went back to my room and said, oh shit, recovery, what a concept, right? Today, I can like myself a little. But for the first time ever, I'm learning how to accept the love, you know, the friends, just the women. And it's scary, you know, but it's so worth it. I never had a sister or a mother unless I was high. You know, I never had any women in my life. I was so afraid of them. I'm still really scared. And all the pain that I went through is helping me to grow today, you know. And even people that I really screwed over, who tried to help me so much, but I just didn't want the help then, when they smile at me and just say hi, you know, just knowing that, yeah, we really do care, and keep growing because you're getting better, you know. Somebody that's here today that I know I hurt told me something once at our house when I was staying there with no place to live. And I try and remember it. She said, Joy, you know, if you weren't you, would you want to be a friend to yourselves? Just think about that, you know. First I said, oh shit, time to change everything. Today it's okay, you know, because it helps me to see the rough edges and to try and work on them. And I just want to tell everybody, especially that if they're new, and I hate every woman in the room, because I know I did, especially the ones with chests, you know. The ones that didn't have black roots, you know, the ones I'm talking about. No matter how much bickering over this one, over the guys, over who slept with this one and who did this, the women are the ones that you find the real love with, you know. All the fights and all the screaming, and you bring it all out, and 2 days later you forget, and you're hugging, and you're laughing because somebody stuck their maxi pad on upside down, you know? God. Little things in life, you know, that I never thought that anyone would care enough. There was a woman to talk to me on a gut level, and I got that, you know? And I got that for a long time, and I'm still getting it. And I just want to say thank you for being here, and stay around.
Wow, I didn't realize how many people were here. I'm Lori, I'm a recovering addict. I am having a lot of feelings today. I'm very overwhelmed by this. I've been trying to get here for 3 years. Other things that I have to work on acceptance with have prevented me. Thank God I haven't picked up in that time, but I've had a lot of physical illness, and I'm really grateful to be here today. I, in fact, got clean about 3 miles from here in a detox. And a lot of memories are coming back for me this weekend. This is the first time I've been back in this area. I really am grateful that Debbie spoke about acceptance, because that's what I've been working on this year. And not just of my disease, because that's sort of like a given in my life today. I have to work on that every day. But just about everything else, and finally self-acceptance, and I'm really starting to struggle with that now, and somehow that relates to me and feels more comfortable with other women. It's something I don't share that much about in meetings, except in around women and in women's meetings, because in order for me to really recover and to continue to recover, I think I not only have to accept the person I am today, but I have to accept and love the dope fiend I was 3 years ago, and the woman that I was then, the person that I did that fourth and fifth step for. I have to love her, and I start by doing that, I guess, it's easier for me to love the newcomers when they come in and they feel like this thing is the worst thing, or what they did was the worst thing, and particularly the women, the shame and the guilt. And I remember that shame and guilt. And somehow I want to comfort and I want to love and I want to nurture and say, it's okay. I did that too. And I guess that's where that begins for me. I'm learning to love myself by loving the newcomers and loving the other women in this program in spite of their shortcomings. And then I say to myself, well, then I must love myself too in spite of mine. I just wanted to share real quick, because I know you want to get other women up here, about the children. I think that's a bond for many of us. And in my recovery, my daughter left me very early when I came home from hospital after 2 months in rehab and detox. I had been lying to her and pretending to be something I wasn't for a long time. And she said, I want to live with my father. She was very angry with me when she found out what the real deal was. So I had been away on business trips where I was like, getting high. I was not getting high in the house. I was really leading a double life. My sponsor, who was a woman who is not here today but is here with me in spirit, told me, this is a gift. Look at this as a gift. I was crushed. I said, oh my God, I got straight. Now my daughter was leaving me. She said, give her time, and you use this time to work on yourself. And I did. I did whatever I was told then because I was so scared. And a beautiful thing happened. My daughter is with me today. About 6 months to a year later, she came to dinner one night and never went back to her father's. And I can say today that I have a wonderful relationship with that child. Another terrible thing happened to me early in recovery, and that was that my 16-year-old son was active, and I had to kick him out of the house. And that was very difficult because a lot of people in my other family, not my NA family, said, what kind of a mother are you? And so on and so forth. And I felt very guilty. And about a month ago, that son, who is now 20 years old, called me and asked me if I would take him to an NA meeting. And that was my Mother's Day gift. It works. I'm really happy to be here. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Kathy and I'm an addict, and I don't believe I'm up here. But I've heard a lot of good things here and a lot that I could identify with, This is my first women's meeting and it's fantastic, I mean, I never thought anybody I could identify with any ladies, I've been living on my own since 12, and all I was brought up was with guys, and I envy girls, especially the ones that had their mommy to take care of them, And I had a big resentment when I can't believe I'm here in this area. I mean, 6 months ago, I was like, I escaped the TC, New Hope Manor. I walked 7 miles. I hitchhiked the rest. I went to the Monticello Port Authority, and this lady saw me crying, and she paid my way to come back to Brooklyn. And I didn't pick up because of that. Because she cared enough to pay my way, so I knew there had to be hope. There had to be something for me. I was just sick of all the bullshit, you know? And it's like what this program has done for me. And the ladies, I hated the ladies when I came in the rooms. You know, I thought, excuse my language, I thought you was all cunts, you know? But, you know, I love yous all because yous made me what I am today, you know? I have me today, and it's so fucking special. I don't believe it. I'm trying to, like, be cool. I've learned to paint my nails. I've learned to fix my hair. I've learned to use tampons. I've learned to, you know? And I gotta fucking be honest, you know? And it's like, they've done a lot for me. You know, I never really had my mother. My mother passed away about 3 weeks ago. And, you know, talk about no coincidences. I found out when I was right about to go to the meeting, you know? And it's like I walked into the meeting and I started fighting with other ladies in the meeting. I started arguing with them, you know, because I didn't want to, like, really come out and say that my mother was gone. I mean, I still hadn't really accepted it, but I have to. I'm powerless. I can't change it, you know, and I guess it was meant to be. And she was an addict and she was sick mentally, so I guess she's in a good place now, you know. And I thank the ladies for being here with me when I was going through that, you know. And I see a lot of ladies here that go to the meetings I go to, and they know the basket case I was when I came in the rooms. I mean, I had this attitude like, don't fuck with me because, you know, I'll kill you, you know. Which, you know, was me because I didn't want to show them the real me because I thought they wouldn't like me, you know. And when they used to tell me I love you and I'm here for you and all this shit, you're pretty, we'll love you till you learn to love yourself. You know, I was like, I thought you was all lesbians, you know? But you ain't, you know? And I have a lot of gratitude because, you know, in good times and bad times, we stuck together. And I cursed them out, they've cursed me out, and we've had a big arguments. But we still love each other, and we're still there for each other, you know, and that's so special. You know, it's so, I mean, I can't believe you are all addicts, you know? You're so pretty, the way you dress, you know, it's like amazing, you know, compared to how we used to look out there and today, you know? I mean, it's like really, you know. I met Iris, I mean, she's really special. I met her when I had 30 days clean. I went to a step meeting, and I'm still here, and she's still here. That gives me gratitude, you know? Shows me it works. And I guess that's about everything I have.
Hi, my name is Felicia. I'm a recovering drug addict and alcoholic. And I'm sorry Debbie's not here because I just wanted to tell her that I identify what she was going through, because I had death in the family earlier this week too, you know, but I decided to come here because I didn't want to sit around and moping with the people who are moping or whatever. I just really wanted to get out of it. And my mother passed also a couple of months ago, you know, and I didn't pick up behind it. You know, my first reaction was to take a drink, but through coming to Narcotics Anonymous and learning to listen and listening to learn, they told me that I didn't have to pick up no matter what. Whatever I went through, it would pass, you know. I also learned at one of the women's meetings that I went to, before my mother passed, I was living with her, and my family, my sisters and brothers, they were active, and my mother was a dry drunk, and she had all the attitudes, you know, and I really thought she was going to change and accept me and be open arms when I came home, but it was like pure hell, you know. She really had a nasty, nasty attitude, you know. She used to call me all types of names and throw me out, to put me and my kids out in this, and I didn't know how to take that, you know, because I was going through a lot of emotional changes, and I was so busy trying to explain to her that this rehabilitation that I went to was working for me, and I had to make these meetings, and I just had to do what I had to do for myself, and she couldn't understand that. And I took this to a women's meeting that I was going to, you know, and I shared with them, and I cried about it. And one lady had identified with me, and she told me, she said, Felicia, you know, your mother is sick, you know, all you need to do is just to hug her and tell her how much you loved her, you know. And I never thought of that. All I used to do was word for word with my mother and just try to explain to her what was going on, and then eventually, you know, would cry because I would really be hurt. I did take that suggestion, you know, and I went and I talked to my mother, you know, and I told her what I was going through and how I felt, and I told her that I loved her and I hugged her, you know. And she told me that she loved me too, you know. It's something that she never did, you know, at least I don't remember. And I used to do that when she used to get into her attitudes and she used to start calling me names and stuff. Instead of getting angry and going away and crying, I thought about what the girl had told me, you know. I just held her and I told her, you know, that I loved her, you know, and I know that she was going through a lot of pain also. And I thank God for that, you know, just being able to open up and learn how to talk to women, because I didn't know how to talk to women. I didn't know what to say to women, and I also don't have a very good, strong relationship with the women in the room. But I'm learning and I'm working on that, you know. It's hard for me because the women in the room know me on the surface, but they really don't know who I am, you know. And I'm really afraid to really open up and let them know who I am. And I don't know who I am myself. I really don't, you know. And as far as relationships, you know, they talk about acceptance, awareness, and action. You know, I'm aware of a lot of things that's coming up, and they seem to come up so fast I can't keep track. You know, I'm beginning to write them down, things that I'm becoming aware of about myself, you know. But accepting them, I forget about that. You know, I have to accept whatever it is that comes up with me and then eventually take some action. But I don't know about that. That'll come. This has been a long process for me, and I'm glad everybody's here. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Ruth, and I'm an addict. And I'm real grateful to have made it up here without falling. Because I have a hard time just sharing in a normal small meeting. But I didn't turn around. I just raised my hand. And, you know, I also have a hard time... and I'm still working on getting close to the women. You know, this is my second convention. I went to one convention last October, and I was paralyzed. I only left the room like 3 times. I even ordered up room service so I wouldn't have to leave, you know. And I thought, like, all this year that I had my shit together, that, you know, this year, you know, I'd come here and I'd be able to, you know, socialize, go to meetings, talk to people. But, you know, I walked through the door and I couldn't breathe. I took a week off from work and I still wasn't ready and didn't bring everything I needed to bring, you know. And I walked through the door and I became paralyzed. And right before this meeting, you know, I wasn't coming to this meeting, you know. I stood out in the hall and I started to cry, you know, because I couldn't function. You know, everything paralyzed me. I'm overwhelmed by the crowds. I didn't want to be around women. You know, and I met a woman I've never seen before, and I started telling her how inadequate I felt, how insecure I was, and how threatened I was by the other women. And she told me that she felt the same way. You know, and I was like so surprised because she was like, I could envy her, you know, and she felt the same way that I felt. And I'm real grateful to be able to get up here and speak, and real nervous. And I just want to thank everyone. Thank you.
You know how my name is Linda and I'm an addict. And right about now I got a fucking resentment with all you women, especially you. You know what I'm saying? And they told me when I first came around, you know, to talk about what I was feeling. You know, I was sitting right there in the chair, I'm raising my hand, you know. And since I've been here at this convention, I haven't been sharing, you know, and I need to share. So I waited till I came to women's meeting to kick my shit, you know. I'm raising my hand, you know, and it's like, yo, you know, what the hell I go through, you know what I'm saying? You know, it's okay though, you know. You know, it's okay. You know, and you see, my disease tells me, you know, that when I get what I want, I throw a temper tantrum. You know what I'm saying? You know, I go storming out the door, you know, fuck everybody and everything. You know, it's real crazy, you know, but it's okay, because I'm getting better a day at a time. You know, Iris, you talked about control. You know, for me, you know, at this stage in my recovery, you know, when I first came around, I didn't have no control. You know, everybody controlled me. You know, my mother told me what to do, how to act. You know, when my father was alive, You know, he taught me how to do my hair, how to wear my clothes, you know. And I heard people talking about the Kotex and the shit. My father taught me how to do those things, you know. For me today, I'm like trying to find out who I am, you know. I haven't been making meetings, you know. My sick thinking is telling me that I'm cured, you know, and I ain't got to go to a meeting, you know. I already spoke about the meeting last night. I didn't get clean to be miserable. You know, last night I was a miserable fuck. You know, I didn't know why, you know, but I went to the meeting and I talked about it, you know. And after I talked about it, I felt okay. But prior to that, earlier, I met someone, you know, in the marathon meeting. And I was sharing in the marathon meeting. And it was just me and her in the marathon meeting. You know, when I first came around, I didn't like no women. I didn't like no men. You know what I'm saying? There's a couple people in here that know me, you know, that know when I came in the rooms, it was like, yo, keep your distance, get the fuck away from me, because I don't want to be bothered. You know, I sat in the back of the room. I didn't raise my hand. I didn't let you know who I was. Today, I still don't let people know who I am because I don't know who I am. You know, I'm trying to find out who I am. So if I don't know who I am, how can I let you know who I am? You know, a day at a time, I'm beginning to open up. I heard a young lady say this was her first women's meeting. This is about my second women's meeting. You know, I refuse to go to women's meetings. You know, because see, I see myself in all of y'all, and I don't want to really take a look at me. You know, because I don't like me. You know, they told me when I first came around, you know, to let y'all love me till I learn to love myself. You know, a day at a time, that's happening. But see, y'all are what's carrying me, you know, and my higher power carries me. Because sometimes I don't know whether the fuck I'm going or coming. You know, obviously talked about relationships. Whoo, baby. You know, when I first came around, he told me, no relationships in the first year. I said, no relationships? So what y'all telling me, I ain't supposed to fuck? Excuse my language. You know, I couldn't see that, you know, because see, I came from the streets, you know, they told me it's about honesty. You see, a lot of ladies in here, I know y'all cannot deal with this, you know, I was a prostitute. So, you know, for me, you know, when I laid down in the bed with a man, I got paid. So I thought that, you know, now I'm clean. If I lay down in the bed with the man and don't get paid, it was okay. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm finding out is that it's not okay. You know, and I got into a relationship. Matter of fact, I got into two of them, one right behind the other one. You know, and now, you know, I went through it, I experienced it, you know, I went through a lot of pain behind it, you know, but today I can honestly say that had I to make the motherfuckers pay me, I wouldn't have went through that shit. You know, so, you know, for me today, you know, it's about getting to know Linda, you know, who Linda is. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to find me, you know, and they talked about lusting. I've been lusting since I've been here. And the girl talked about giving the man, I ain't getting nobody my key. You ain't coming to my room. If you paying? You know what I'm saying? And that's how I feel, you know. And I know it's about change. They tell me it's about change. So a day at a time, I'm trying to change. I just wanted to kick that around and thank you.
I was getting stormed out the door with a resentment. I'm a willed and I'm an addict. Nervous, you're beautiful. And you're not the same woman that walked in here 21 months ago. I remember when you came in. 31, I'm sorry. I was sitting in this meeting, and I was crying, you know, and I wasn't sure why, you know. I don't know, it's like you got up here and you told my story. I also got married at 17, and I felt like I had to stay with my husband because I had not one daughter but two, you know. And I just thought, you know, society sets it up that way. And I felt I didn't want to feel, so I started using, like, right after my relationship ended with my husband. And, you know, I just went off. But I think I walked in here feeling a lot of gratitude. And as I sat here and I heard you share, especially about your daughter, you know, I got real fucked up and I felt a lot of pain. Because you talked about the padded room for the kids, you know. And I wish I could put my 18-year-old in a padded room, you know. And I've been around long enough to accept the fact that I'm powerless, you know. And she's active, and she's the baby with a baby, you know. And my grandson has the attitudes too, you know. But it's like, I know that I'm powerless, but doesn't stop the pain, you know. And I just recently found out that she's getting high. And I don't know, you know, I just feel like she's going to walk the same exact path that I walked, you know. And for me, it was so painful, you know. I wouldn't want to see a dog go through what I went through, you know, much less my little girl, you know. And I got real hysterical, you know. It really hurts, you know. But I have a lot of gratitude for the fact that I'm here today, you know, and I can be a power example for her, you know. And she has a choice, you know, she really does. And you people tell me she has her own higher power, you know, and that keeps me going. And I have her, she's 18, and I have a 22-year-old who also left me, you know, but she chose to go away to college, and she graduated. And today we live together, and we have a beautiful relationship, you know. So I try to focus on the positive things, you know, and I can only do that because I have these rooms, you know, and I have you women in my life, you know, and I can share these things with you. But it doesn't stop the pain, you know, the pain is still there. And I know the only way I'm going to feel better is by sharing it, you know, talking about it and crying about it and accepting it, you know, and turning it over. And I'm working towards that. And I just want to thank you, Harrison. I love you.
Thank you. I'm sorry that we have no more time. Please don't leave with a resentment. Speak to me or anybody you feel comfortable with. Thank you for keeping me clean.
All right, we're going to close in the usual manner.
Two words: safe sex. Let's have a moment of silence for the still suffering addicts in and out of the rooms, those who are going to die today. Let's keep the tags off our feet, followed by the Serenity Prayer. God,
grant me serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Keep coming back, it works!